Welcome back to AfterDark Stories. Tonight, we journey to Albania, to a castle perched high on a rocky hill, its stones holding a secret as old and as tragic as time itself. This is the legend of Rozafa, the woman sacrificed within these very walls. But this isn't just a story from the past. Locals, guards, and visitors all whisper the same thing. She never left. And when darkness falls, her shadow walks the battlements, forever bound to a promise made in stone and sealed with blood. Long, long ago, three brothers began a monumental task. They were determined to build a fortress, a castle to protect their lands. They chose a strategic hill overlooking the rivers Buna and Drain. Day after day, they toiled, laying stone upon stone, raising the walls under the hot sun. But each morning, they would return to find their work undone. The walls they had so carefully constructed had crumbled to dust, as if pushed down by an unseen, malevolent force. The project was on the brink of failure. Desperate, the brothers sought the counsel of a wise old man who passed by their sight. He listened to their tale of frustration and despair, and his face grew grim. He knew the ancient magic that held the hill, the power that rejected their mortal efforts. "The walls will not stand," he told them, his voice low and solemn, "unless you give the mountain a soul. You must make a sacrifice. A human life must be bound to the foundation. You must entomb one of your wives within the walls." The brothers were horrified, yet they knew the old man spoke the truth. The castle had to be built. They made a solemn, terrible pact. They swore an oath, *Bessa*, that they would not speak a word of this to their wives. The first wife to bring them their lunch the following day would be the one chosen for the sacrifice. Her fate would be sealed by an act of love and duty. That night, a heavy silence fell over their homes. The two elder brothers, their resolve wavering, broke their sacred oath. Secretly, they warned their wives, "Do not come to the hill tomorrow," they whispered. "Make an excuse. Say you are ill. Say you must visit your family. But do not bring us our lunch." And so, their wives were saved from the horrific pact. But the youngest brother, noble and true to his word, kept his silence. He loved his wife, Rozafa, more than anything. She was young, beautiful, and had just given birth to their first child, a baby boy. The thought of her fate was a dagger in his heart, but an oath was an oath. He said nothing. The next day, as the sun climbed high in the sky, the three brothers worked with heavy hearts. Soon, they saw a figure ascending the hill. It was Rozafa. She was smiling, her face bright with love, carrying a basket of fresh bread, cheese, and a flask of wine for her husband and his brothers. As she approached, a chilling silence fell over the work site. The masons stopped their hammering, their faces pale. The brothers stared, their hearts turning to lead. Rozafa, sensing the strange and terrible atmosphere, felt a knot of fear tighten in her stomach. "What is it, my love?" she asked her husband. "Why does everyone look so grim? Have I done something wrong?" The youngest brother couldn't meet her eyes. It was the eldest who finally spoke, his voice cracking as he explained the old man's prophecy and the cruel pact they had made. Rozafa listened, the color draining from her face. The basket fell from her hands, the food scattering in the dust. She was to be walled up, alive, buried within the very stones she thought would protect her family. But she did not scream. She did not curse them or beg for her life. Her thoughts went immediately to her newborn son, left alone in his cradle. With a strength that silenced the entire mountain, she accepted her fate. But she had one request, a plea so heartbreaking it would echo through the ages. "I have but one prayer to make," she said, her voice steady despite the tears streaming down her face. "When you wall me in, I beg you, leave a space for my right eye, so I may see my son as he grows. Leave my right hand free, so I may rock his cradle when he cries. Leave my right foot exposed, so I may gently nudge his cradle back and forth. And leave my right breast unburdened by stone, so that I may continue to feed him, my son. Let him be my only consolation, The brothers, weeping with shame and sorrow, agreed. The masons, with tears in their own eyes, began their grim task. They built the wall around her, stone by agonizing stone, fulfilling her final, heart-wrenching request. And as the last stone was put in place, sealing her into the darkness, the castle walls finally held firm. They never crumbled again. The fortress, named Rozafa in her honor, stood strong, a testament to her ultimate sacrifice. To this day, it is said that the limestone walls near the main gate are still damp, stained with the calcium-rich water that seeps through the stone, the eternal tears and milk of a mother who never abandoned her child. Centuries have passed since Rozafa's sacrifice. The castle still stands, a proud and silent monument to its tragic origins, but the story doesn't end there. For those who visit, especially after the sun sets, the legend feels terrifyingly real. A presence lingers within the ancient stones, a sorrow that time cannot erase. Visitors and security guards have reported strange, unexplainable phenomena for decades. The most chilling account is that of the shadow. On clear nights, when the moon is full and casts its pale light upon the main wall, the very wall said to contain Rozafa's tomb, a silhouette appears. It's the distinct shape of a slender woman, her form dark against the illuminated stone. But this shadow, and still, it moves with a gentle, rhythmic rocking motion, back and forth, as if cradling an invisible baby in its arms. Security guards, who have spent countless nights patrolling the empty courtyards, swear the shadow has a life of its own. They've watched it for hours, confirming that no person, no tree branch, no flag is casting it. It appears even when the courtyard is completely deserted, moving on its own accord, locked in an endless, silent lullaby. Travelers have reported feeling an intense, unnerving sensation of being watched as they walk the ramparts, a feeling that an eye is still open somewhere within the cold stone, following their every move. One tourist, attempting to debunk the legend, set up a camera to film the wall at night. The footage he captured sent a shiver down the spine of everyone who saw it. The courtyard was empty, a fact confirmed by other cameras. Yet on the wall, the rocking shadow was clearly visible. Then, it did something impossible. The shadow's arm appeared to bend and reach outward, as if trying to touch something just beyond the stone, before slowly retracting. It was a gesture of longing, a mother reaching for a child who wasn't there. The strange phenomena are not just visual. People have heard things carried on the wind that whips around the high castle walls. Some report hearing the faint, melodic sound of a woman humming a soft lullaby, a tune both beautiful and deeply sad. Others have heard the unmistakable sound of quiet weeping, a grief so profound it seems to have seeped into the very air. One man, a skeptic who wandered away from his tour group near dusk, swore he felt an icy cold hand press firmly on his shoulder. As he froze in terror, a faint, ethereal whisper breathed directly into his ear, a single, desperate question: "Where is my child?" He fled the castle and never looked back. The local legends surrounding Rozafa offer a warning to all who visit. They say that if you stand with your back pressed against the main wall, you will feel a slow, creeping chill spread across the right side of your body, the side that Rozafa begged them to leave free. It's as if her spirit, still tethered to the world through those small openings, is trying to connect, to feel the warmth of the living. Some people who have stayed past sunset claim the shadow is confined to the wall. They've reported seeing it detach from the stone and follow them as they descend the winding path down the hill. It glides silently behind them, a constant, dark companion, only fading away once they reach the safety and light of the city below. The belief is that Rozafa is still searching for her son. In her eternal, grief-stricken state, she doesn't understand that centuries have passed. She sees visitors, especially young men or those with children, and for a fleeting moment, she hopes, she clings to anyone who reminds her of the family she lost, following them in a desperate, silent plea for reunion. So, if you ever find yourself walking the ancient stones of Rozafa Castle as twilight bleeds into night, be careful. If you see a shadow on a wall that has no source, a silhouette that rocks in a silent, heartbreaking rhythm, do not approach it. Do not stare at it for too long, and whatever you do, do not let it get close enough to touch you. Because some sacrifices are so great, they tear a hole in the fabric of time. Some sorrows never heal, and some shadows never fade. Thank you for joining us for another tale from the dark. If you have a story you think we should hear, share it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more After Dark stories. Until next time, stay safe.